Good morning, guys, and mine happened to our friends there in the Philippines. Guys, up on the screen, the fraudster, con man, criminal, thief, and scammer, Brian Granville Smith, a foreigner farmer in the Philippines, aka Boss Hog. Guys, in this video today, I'm going to read you out an email, and it'll take some time to get through, but by the end of this email, it will be very apparent that this man up on the screen is nothing more than what I've just previously said: a criminal, a thief, and a liar. Do bear with us, guys, while we get through this email, and at the end of the email, we will reveal a few more facts about this lump of lard up on the screen. So, with that in mind, take a look at this first screenshot from this email. Yeah, guys, so what you see up on the screen is correspondence between Boss Hog and a Veterans Life in the Philippines, another YouTube channel. And the Veterans Life in the Philippines was a potential investor in the milkfish business. So, without further ado, guys, let's get into it, shall we? And Boss Hog is speaking here. He's replying to the veteran in the Philippines. Good to hear from you. I'm sorry I did not get back to you last night. Problems with Petunia the pig. Today has been a busy day as usual. At the beginning of my and Jason's adventure, the agreement was he would provide the peso and I would make it happen. So, straight off the bat, what we have found out is that Boss Hog never put 1 centavo into the milkfish project. I will make it happen. Jason provides the peso. He conned Jason, he scammed Jason. That is his party piece, if you like. This is what Boss Hog is good at. Jason provided the peso and I would make it up. We have at least 2 separate 1 acre parcels of ocean, one for each of us. A few years down the road, each are planned to have 11 pens, the size of the one we have now. We had thought we had 90 days of credit for feed. It turned out to be we had 0 days of credit. Our plan was to understock the first pen, should I say, 60k or 60,000 fingerlings, instead of the pen's capacity of 110,000 fingerlings. And we did just fine. The plan was to learn as we go and roll back the profit into the business as we went, and eventually split up the partnership with each of us having a fully built and fully funded fish pen operation, generating a net of about $500,000 US per year. About all went well at first. Jason ponied up the capital. Notice the ponied bit as if it's nothing. He ponied up the capital, but I made it happen. Jason ponied up the capital and I did make it happen until we started to lose over 1,000 fingerlings every day because of, as it turns out, stagnant water because of weak tides. We had the operation fully funded, start to harvest for the first pen. I thought What I did not know was that Jason had borrowed the startup capital from his ex-father-in-law rather than having it in his pocket. After a while, the losses began. His father-in-law wanted his money back, afraid he would lose his money. And how right he was. So, it turns out that Jason's father-in-law put the money up front for the milkfish business, and when he realised Boss Hog was a thief and a scammer, he demanded his money back, and rightly so. And Boss Hog is criticising Jason for not investing his own money. So, let's take a look at this next screenshot, guys. Quite revealing. So a continuation, guys. Jason's father demanded his money back, and Boss Hog continues. Fair enough. 30,000 US dollars. He wanted all of it back, so Jason gave it back to him. That would have left us short of 25,000 pesos for the feed. But we only had 18,000 fingerlings left instead of 55k or so. So we found the peso, some from him and some from myself, and made it to the first harvest. We do now have a cash account to buy feed wholesale from Novia in Cebu. After 6 months, supposed to roll into a 30-day net, then a 60-day within a year. Not counting on it. French company, but run by Filipinos. So you notice straight away, Boss Hog having a go again at Filipinos. And you will also notice that Boss Hog and Jason have now had to put a little bit of money in to themselves. And what is noticeable, guys, is the feed company in Cebu. We are now aware that to this day, Boss Hog still owes that feed company. Not only left a trail of debts in America, he's leaving a trail of debts in the Philippines. So we'll carry on, guys. So here's where we are at. We have enough cash in hand to fund 35,000 fish, fingerling to harvest at 500 grams. That's why we are splitting the pen, in hopes that at some point in the near future we can raise funding for the other half. To clarify, the budget for 50k fingerlings to harvest at 500 grams is 32,000 US dollars. That's a pile of dollars. Notice this next paragraph, guys. That's a pile of dollars. It's also a pile of fish when harvested. 25-ton pile at 120,000 Philippine pesos per ton, 3 million or 60,000 US dollars. Very basic maths gets you to the gross profit. And you have a video to watch where the expenses are fairly well detailed. So you notice there the scammer at work, giving out what you can invest and what you can expect in return and how fast the turnover is. Boss Hog doing the scammer's bit. He then goes on to say, here is what we are offering. a flat return of 20% interest in 6 months. So, if you invest 10k, you get 2k interest on your original 10k in 6 months. We have decided for the fish to reach size, but it is the Philippines. Things take time. Pay money from buyer, checks to clear. You know the drill, so it's up to you how much, if anything, you want to put up. 5, 10, 50k, does not matter. The amount other than each and every fish we harvest helps our growth. There you have it, guys. Boss Hog selling the scam package. He's not putting a centavo in the milkfish himself, but he's looking for investors. And we now know with hindsight that Boss Hog ripped the back out of Jason. He scammed Jason. So take a look at this next screenshot. He then goes on, guys, to talk about growth, which he says is export potential. The more we have, the more profit we can roll back into the business. Neither of us need or plan to take an owner withdrawal until the first phase of 11 pens are built and funded. Or we have the 60-day net credit account in writing. I anticipate your thoughts. May you be safe and well, Brian. The email exchanges then go on, and here is another for you from the Veterans Life in the Philippines. And the Veterans Life in the Philippines says, I had a little encounter, you can say, with Brian, and when I inquired about his fish farm business, this is one of the 2 emails along with a phone call I got from him. When I called him on the legalities, i.e. documents to secure my investment, if I was to go that far, I never heard from him again. He must have really thought I was some dumbass when he tried to play me and switch it up from Philippine pesos to US dollars. He had some real balls, to say the least. And if this is something he really thought he'd get away with, well, this is the Philippines, Brian, and there's rice fields. Yeah, so at this point, guys, a Veterans Life in the Philippines has sussed the Boss Hog for the scammer that he is. Boss Hog thought the Veterans Life was a dumbass, but he seen right through him. So with that in mind, guys, take a look at this next screenshot. And so Brian goes on to clarify the 10k and 50k you mentioned from my email as a possible investment amounts were US dollars, not Philippine pesos. We are not talking small money here. We have 25,000 US dollars cash on hand right now. That amount will close to double in 6 months with a decent harvest, and exponentially double every 6 months after that until we reach our goal of 2 hectares in full production in 3 to 3.5 years. Having investors just shortens the amount of time needed to get there. But we will get there by ourselves if we have to, and honestly, if an annual tax return of 40% from a hands-off investment is not good enough, then so be it. Best luck to anyone other than an Indian 5-6 loan shark trying to get a quarter of that kind of return. Anyone who would expect more than that is too greedy for us to be involved with. Boss Hog at his finest. So Boss Hogg, continuing the correspondence, now talks about Jason. All good points with regard to Jason. I don't know what kind of specific agreement he had with his ex's father, but if it had been me, I would have made him honour whatever it was rather than run our plans into the ditch by yanking the funding. A deal is a deal. Business is business. I would have told him, hey, you're scared? Me too. We can be scared together. But you get your money back when we agreed. And you would get it back. Full stop. So there you have it, guys. Boss Hogg, the scammer, the schemer, in the background. Jason, unaware, of course, of these emails going between him and another investor, Boss Hogg, and a veteran in the Philippines. So, guys, that's the email, and it raises quite a lot of questions. And possibly one of the first questions would be, Brian's own words were, Jason put up all the money. Brian said he would make it happen. He would look after the milkfish project. He would look after the fish pens. So the failure of the business was 100% down to Brian, Boss Hogg. Also, he was offering a 40% return on any investment. So, was he offering Jason the same deal? And if so, what has happened to Jason's investment, Brian? Or another way of looking at it is, did you have another plan, Brian, for Jason's money? Maybe you were going to use that on the shrimp pond. Also, a big question mark here. At the time you were offering investment, Brian, you were on a tourist visa. Yes. So why were you offering investment into a business you are not allowed to have any part of? You are not allowed to have any say in. Also, why were you offering an investment into a company solely owned by Marcel on paper? And also, it raises another question. Around that time, a Texas Filipino YouTube channel uploaded a video. In that video, he explained how you had borrowed $5,000. I believe that Texas Filipino only made that video about you, Brian, to encourage others to invest and use his name as a character reference. You, Brian, were asking people to invest in the milkfish project, and that video from Texas Filipino was only there to reassure any investors that they would get their money back. Isn't that true? And I mean, it's very strange that a video like that is uploaded and he's telling people how he's loaned you money, and yet he's never met you in person. There was a reason for that video, and I think the reason was to reassure people that you were of good character, whereas we know you're just an out and out scammer. You always have a reason, Brian, for your failures, and having a reason is an excuse for you not to repay any of your investors, any of your debts. or anybody who invested in any of your projects. What about Dave Tilapia? Yes, our David. Over the shrimp tank project. Why would anyone send all the materials for that project if they didn't have a vested interest? Please explain that one. Because that, I believe, along with everything else, every other project, is being a scheme and a scam. Maybe, just maybe, Robert G has some sort of investment in the ponds. Maybe you could enlighten us, Brian. Guys, in this video, this email has proved, if proof was needed, that this lump of lard up on the screen is a criminal, scammer and a thief and a damn liar. Here he is partnering up with Jason, and behind Jason's back is corresponding with a potential investor and running Jason into the ground and eventually ripping Jason off. In the email himself, he says Jason invested all the money. He invested nothing. He has invested nothing into any project that he's ever taken on. It's always been other people's money. When are people going to wake up to this low-life scammer up on the screen? He hasn't got a pot to piss in. He will not invest in himself, and he schemes and scams online, sending emails to many different people, trust me, many different people, looking for investment, looking for funds. It's probably the reason why Kano's is on the back burner, because we have been on his case and we have been exposing him for what he is. This man on the screen is a scammer. He is a thief and a criminal. Wake up, people, to what you are looking at. That amiable face, that patter, the smooth talker on the screen is nothing more than a scammer. We've proved it in this video. And Jason, you need to step up to the mark and get this man reported. Go to your local barangay captain and get this sorted out and get this lump of lard deported. Get him reported and deported. Till the next time, guys. Bye for now.